All right, I'm just gonna go in. I'm just gonna go for it. Welcome back to Operation Evil. This is episode 150. Woo!
Woo!
Carioca. And who's our other host? Who?
It's Heather.
Heather. Yeah, Heather. She's been posting a lot on our Facebook. You should check it out. She's always finding the good stuff, the funny stuff.
Nice.
Before we jump into any case, Heather was like, what are we going to do for the 150 episode? I don't know. Haven't even thought about it. So she's like, she took the initiative, put it out there, asking if anybody had any questions for us. And you got some, right?
We got a few, yes.
All right. You want to start it out? I have it up to you. However you want to do it. This was your idea. This was a really good idea.
Well, now I can't find them.
And you guys don't be scared to reach out to us ever. Like, we love that.
Right. Feedback.
Yeah.
What you would like to hear.
Unless if you're really mean, we don't want to hear that shit. We only want good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't tell us that we're horrible, but tell us about other people's horrible things.
I know. It's like, what the hell?
All right. All right. Do you want me to say who the question asker is?
You could do first names.
Okay, that's what I was saying. All right, this question comes from Alexis, and she asked, which case was the most difficult to discuss on the podcast?
Ooh.
You've done way more than I have. So
this is a good one. And you know what? I'm going to pull up the episode because it's actually the most downloaded episode that I've ever had on here. And let me pull it up. And it was about the woman who left her toddler to go on vacation and came back. Yes. That one, I'm trying to find the name of it.
Was that here in locally, like Cincinnati area?
Yeah, it was in Ohio.
Okay, yeah.
And it was, I think really everyone emotionally was upset. Even though every story we cover is awful. Right. This one, I feel like it took the cake. And here it is. Yeah. It is called.
I think the crimes against children really hit a nerve with a lot of people.
Why can't I find what it's called?
Defenseless children. I know what you're talking about, but I can't recall.
It's like Ohio mom leaves toddler. I want to say because like, okay. Episode 97, Ohio mom leaves toddler to die. That is the most downloaded episode because I think everybody was just highly upset by everything that happened. So yeah, I would say that one was probably the most difficult. I hate it when children are hurt. I think that's why I cover so many stories like that, because I just don't understand how people can do that. I don't
either. And animals.
Yeah.
Like, what did they ever do to you? But sadly, it seems like in this area, we have a lot of crimes against children that aren't just quote unquote normal. Like, they're horrific. Like the boy that was like she just dropped him off on the street. Remember that? And he was wandering. And then there was the one who they found in the suitcase. And then there was the one they locked in the closet.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and that was a foster kid too, wasn't he? Like,
yes. And I got that story from Evil Lives Here. If you watch that, he reached out to me and and thanked me for covering it. It was pretty cool.
Good. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I agree. Not that I've done as many episodes as you have, 150, but I do. Yeah. Those sometimes are even hard to read. Like, do you find yourself, and this is a personal question, do you find yourself like starting to read through a a case or a story, and then you're like, you have to just like pause and step back because it's like, it's a lot.
Yes,
It's a lot.
it
Yeah.
really is a lot. And I have this thing too where when I'm researching cases, I like to find articles in order of what's happening from the
Mm-hmm.
very beginning when not much is known up until the very last article I can
Yeah.
find. I like that timeline because
Mm-hmm.
I think our minds just want to make sense of why it happened
Right.
in whatever way we can. I don't know.
Yeah.
What about you? I mean, you've got a handful under your belt now, so
Yeah. I try not to do the kid ones because
because
it's
it's
a little,
upsetting. Yeah.
it's a little much. There's one I'm working on. It's pretty gruesome. I'll just say that. And so I've had to like stop and put it on the back burner for a minute.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. And then the Easter massacre where he shot his whole family and then
Mm,
just nonchalantly was like, yeah, somebody is in there.
yeah.
I don't know.
That one was
It's,
wild.
it's my birthday. Like, I've been partying. Yeah, that one just kind of very,
Yeah, he didn't kill just
I
one
see.
person. He took out
Yeah,
like what, 8 people? 11
yeah,
people? I don't know. It was a
12,
lot of
12,
people.
yeah. And his family. And I'm thinking, if he had not stayed and maybe moved to Milwaukee or something crazy, I'm like, would he have done this again? Like, would he have tried to find people to latch onto and then they disappoint him or he disappoints them and then you kind of think about those kind of things.
I think so. He obviously had a trigger, a button to push after so
Yes.
many things that happened. So eventually,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah. I mean, I think we all have that limit, but I don't think we all have the kill gene, if that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Next question comes from Gina. Gina would like to know, how long does it take you to produce one episode?
Ooh. I mean, in my experience, it takes me a few days of research just to do the case itself.
Mm-hmm.
I might work on that 2 or 3 days for at least an hour or so at a time. So we're looking
Mm-hmm.
at a few hours on the case itself. Plus, if there's a documentary or anything like that, you might want to watch that. So that's another hour or two for that. And then recording it can take anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour and a half. And then after that, you have to edit, which can take anywhere from 30 minutes to 2 hours or so. So, I mean, it is a pretty lengthy process. We're kind of writing papers every time we
Mm-hmm.
do an episode. It's like writing a
Right.
research paper. Wouldn't you
Yeah.
think?
I agree.
I
Yeah.
mean, you really have to have
And
a
then,
passion for it to
right.
keep doing it.
Then there's some things you like find a rabbit hole, like
Mm,
some of these cases, like how like and not one another one I'm trying to develop, like how they were involved in other aspects of a crime. Or then like I like you do you remember, I don't remember what it was called, but it was like the love triangle one he did. Like
yes.
those get
Hmm.
rabbit holey too, because then you're like trying to figure out how they all got involved. Or like the very first one I did with the cult guys, the
Yes.
brotherhood. um yeah, like that took me down some rabbit holes, like where those guys came from, and then how the main guy was kind of an apprentice to John Wayne Gacy. And yeah, so
And
anyway.
keep in mind, this is while working a full-time job. This is not our
Right.
full-time job. So we can't
Right.
just dedicate so many hours
It does
per
kind of get
episode.
addictive to I'm kind of addicted though, if you haven't figured.
No, I like it. You're
Yeah.
constantly coming up with good ideas.
All right, thanks Gina. Let me go back. This comes from Sissy, and she would like to know, have you always been into true crime?
For me, I have. I mean, I don't know about you. I remember my parents watching that Unsolved Mysteries
Yeah.
and all that stuff growing up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Yes.
remember a time where it didn't interest me in some sort of way.
Right. Or yeah, Unsolved Mysteries, and I can't think of the one with the my brain is stopped.
Oh, John Walsh,
Yes, I can't think of what this kid.
America's Most
Most
Wanted.
Wanted. Yeah. Why can't
Yes.
I think of that? America's Most Wanted. You
Mm-hmm.
know.
Oh yeah, we
Yeah.
had all those good shows. I remember watching
Hmm.
Cops. I mean, that's not true crime.
Oh
I mean,
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, it kind of is, but
Yeah, the
different
live.
way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. And then
Yeah.
I would listen to podcasts, true crime podcasts, and I would think I can do that. Like I can totally do this. I'm going to try it out, and that's why I tried it out.
Yeah. And we thank you for that. All us
Thanks.
all us evil enthusiasts.
I didn't know how to do anything. I didn't know how to podcast. I didn't know how to edit. I didn't know anything about anything.
I knew how to listen.
Right? Yeah, me too.
Look them up and listen. And then another question from us, the same person. I think I don't remember. I lost it, but was,
Mhm.
what is your favorite podcast besides your own?
Well, for me, it started with Sword and Scale. I don't know if you ever listened to that one.
I
That
don't think
started
so.
it for
No.
me as far as true crime and Morbid. I loved
Yes, the
Morbid.
morbid.
Um, what
When I
else?
couldn't stay awake for 48 hours, I would listen to 48 hours.
Oh, Radio Rental. I don't know if you ever listened to that one. The guy who
I don't
played
think so.
Dwight in The Office is like the host.
No. Oh
Um,
no, I didn't even know that was a. Hmm.
yeah,
There's
it's
so
like
many.
he pretends to be like this video store clerk that no one visits really, this video store, and each tape he puts in is a new story. So every episode has at least like three stories, and they're like creepy stories. They're
Yeah.
fantastic. I definitely would recommend anyone listening to that. Some of it's like time warp stuff or creepy stuff, or it's out there. I love it.
Yes. All right. I think that's all of the
Heck yeah.
most
That was
interesting
fun.
ones. Yes. Thank you all for your questions. And anytime you have them, I have to speak for Nyoka, just pop them on there.
Yeah,
Be
absolutely.
happy to do the best.
And
Other,
if you have recommended one and I haven't got to it yet, I work on depending on my mood in the moment. It's really weird. Depending
right.
on my mood. But I will always take any
Mm-hmm.
kind of advice on what cases because I do write them down and save them for later.
Mm-hmm. Same.
Yeah. So, shall we jump into the story today? What did I
We
call
can.
it? I called it
I don't remember.
um 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 oh yes. I called it I handed my daughter to the
Mm,
devil. Yeah, so as always, this episode contains disturbing content, including child sexual abuse, incest, and all those horrible things. And as always, listener discretion is advised. So when Michaela Renee Settles turned 18 in July 2025, so this is a pretty recent case. She left North
mm-hmm.
Carolina for a fresh start, and no better way to do that financially than to live with her biological father, 41-year-old Stephen Vincent Chavez. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Chavez, I think.
Chavez, yeah, in Moore Park, California. She planned to attend Moore Park College there and build a new life for herself. So, according to Michaela's mother, her father promised Michaela a car when she got there, a college savings fund, giving her a place to stay. I mean, it just sounded like a perfect opportunity to just start over. But after 2 days of being there at her dad's house, she calls her family terrified and asking for help. Her mother, Carolina, Sandoval said, quote, "It was just the fear in her voice, her crying. I didn't need details. I knew something was wrong, and I said, I'm on the way." Now, her mother rushes to Michaela because she's in town at this moment when her daughter first moves there. So she is still in town. Thank goodness. Because when
Amen.
she
Yes. Thank
saw her,
goodness.
I know, because when she saw her daughter, she was devastated. So she said that Michaela was barely able to walk. She was barefoot. She had blood running down her legs. Her uncle was also with her mom when they went to go pick her up, and he like instantly picked her up in his arms and carried her to the car. And they instantly took Michaela to the hospital, and a rape kit was performed. According to the family, the results came back positive for Stephen's DNA. That's right. Michaela's own father raped her.
Sicko.
And from what I understand, it was brutal.
Yes.
Brutal. Not just, no, it was brutal. And Stephen was arrested that same night and charged with incest, taking advantage of a position of trust, providing alcohol to a minor. He pleaded not guilty and later posted a $250,000 bail. Michaela's cousin, Crystal Sandoval, was in disbelief, and she said, quote, "I was screaming, I was crying. I just kept thinking, why would he do that to her? Is there something she could have done? Um, is there something she could not, this is something like she cannot come back from."
Mm-hmm.
Well, Michaela returns back home to North Carolina after all of this happens. And she really started to struggle with mental health and depression. I think that's understandable after what
Mm-hmm.
she just went through.
Yes, that's a very PTSD situation.
I can't imagine how traumatized she is at this point.
I mean, rape's one thing, but being raped brutally by your father
Your
at an
biological father.
yeah, at an older age when you really do know what's happening.
And how long has he been thinking about this?
Ew.
You know what I mean? Like, how long?
Yeah. Like,
Absolutely
yeah,
horrible. Absolutely horrible. And she tried so hard to move past
it's just yeah.
this, to look forward, to do something with her life. She even completed training in nail technology. She was preparing to start a new job. But Crystal was right. I mean, this is something she just couldn't come back from.
Mm-hmm.
5 months later, in December of 2025, Michaela took her own life.
Mm.
Her mother said, quote, "He killed my daughter that night. She was so confident that over there everything was just going to be a dream. California living, like what you see on TV, and all of that was taken away from her." End quote. She also
Mm-hmm.
said, quote, "If I'm being honest, it feels like I handed my daughter to the devil." End
Mm-hmm.
quote.
Can you imagine her guilt?
No. And then she's probably like, has he always been like this? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I
Did it
bet.
say how long they Sorry, did it say
No,
how long they had been divorced? Or they
no,
were or were like
they
when was the last
didn't.
time she had seen her dad? I don't know, I read that and I was just wondering like when
I wonder
the
that
last
too.
time
Like
before she went out there.
I
Not that
mean,
that matters, but
no, but it is something I was curious about as well. And nothing said it from what I saw. But on the night that Michaela was taken to the hospital, her mom said that Stephen, the dad, sent her mother a text message that read, "I'm never drinking liquor again. I don't want that blackout to happen again." Like
good
he had
alibi.
the balls to text the mom and say that,
He was probably trying to, you know,
like
smooth
cover
it,
his tracks or something.
cover his tracks and give himself a alibi-ish type of thing. I don't know.
I don't know. So now the family not only is grieving the loss of Michaela, but according to Crystal, the Ventura, County, whatever. I am so horrible at names and things. Anyways, the DA's office has told them that the case may not go to trial because Michaela is no longer alive to testify. Isn't that crap? They have the kit, they have the evidence from it, but Crystal said, quote, the DA was essentially saying, we don't know if we have a case because she's no longer here. And when she told me that, I immediately said, no, we're not going to let that slide.
Yeah, because like, I don't know, TV though, but like SVU, even if the victim doesn't want to testify, they still have a case, right?
Yeah.
With the kit and the.
I mean, he's still responsible for what he did. It doesn't erase anything. I need someone to tell me how this works.
Right.
So Crystal was determined not to let this slide, and she wanted justice for Michaela. So she went to social media and she made videos, and their videos went viral, drawing outrage from everywhere and prompting hundreds to promise to show up to Stephen's next court hearing. Crystal said it was like Stephen took her sunshine away and just kind of broke her soul. Now, the DA's office issued the following statement, quote, we have seen the post online and want the public to know that our sexual assault unit comes to prosecute the defendant for this extremely serious crime. This case has been filed since July 2025, when the evidence supported the filing of felony charges. As with any case, prosecutors filed charges based on the evidence. The court sets bail. Our office successfully moved to increase bail to $250,000 in July 2025 when the case was filed. The defendant requested that bail be reduced, but we successfully argued against that. The defendant has since posted $250,000 bail and is out of custody. With respect to the upcoming hearing, the April 21st date is an early disposition conference. This is a standard pretrial proceeding where the court and parties address the status of the case and set future dates as appropriate, end quote. Now, despite that statement, the family says that they have already been told a trial is not guaranteed, and they are not backing down. His court hearing was on April 21st, 2026. It just passed. And you know what his plea was? Not guilty.
Guilty. Imagine that.
I know. They always say not guilty, right?
Or I'm insane.
Yeah. The April 21st hearing is expected to include discussions among the DA's office, defense attorneys, and a judge regarding the status of the case. Family members say that they have been told there may be challenges moving forward. They have voiced concern that without Michaela's testimony, the case could be viewed as lacking sufficient evidence despite what they describe as prior statements and forensic findings. This has left us feeling helpless and heartbroken, but we refuse to let the story end without a fight, wrote Crystal in an online fundraiser created to support legal efforts on behalf of the family. Now, the fundraiser, which raised more than $21,000 on GoFundMe, states that the family is seeking funds to hire a civil attorney to pursue justice and ensure Michaela's story is heard. I also thought it would be a good idea to read what the GoFundMe page states. It's still up and going. It says, Michaela was my baby cousin, and she was a bright, loving soul whose life was tragically cut short in December. After moving in with her biological father, she endured the most unimaginable trauma. She was sexually assaulted just 2 days after arriving. The pain and heartbreak that followed were overwhelming, and Michaela ultimately took her own life. Our family is devastated, and we are determined to honor her memory by seeking justice on her behalf. Despite clear evidence, including a rape kit, a statement to the police, and a recorded interview at the safe house, the district attorney has told us that none of this can be used because Michaela is no longer here to speak for herself. This has left us feeling helpless and heartbroken, but we refuse to let her story end without a fight. We are raising funds to hire a civil lawyer who can take on Michaela's case and help us pursue justice, not just for her, but for others who may face similar circumstances. We are asking for your support to stand with our family in this fight for justice and to show the DA that Michaela is loved and supported. Although she is no longer with us, I know she would have loved to see everyone uplift her and bring awareness to her story. Your donation will help us cover the legal fees needed to keep Michaela's voice alive and ensure her story is heard. Thank you for standing with us and for Michaela.
I wonder if there's, you know how there's the Innocent Project where where people or law students will go in and help prove the people that are in jail shouldn't be in jail, prove their innocence. I wonder, somebody needs to start.
That's a good idea. I see where you're going with this.
Yeah, like for people that can't afford an attorney or, wrongfully done. And, or situations like that, there should be law students pro bono that would do that.
I think that's a fantastic idea. I don't know if that exists, but it should. So in a statement to the Acorn newspaper, crimes against persons? Is that what you were saying?
Yes.
That's a great name.
Yeah, Crimes Against Persons Project. I don't know. Yeah. I have it all up here, like all these ideas. I just don't
You need to write that down. You need to write stuff down. Because you always do have really good ideas. So in a statement to the Acorn newspaper, a spokesperson for the DA's office said, quote, much of the information being shared on social media is not accurate. Our sexual assault unit is prosecuting this case to the fullest extent of the law. This is an extremely serious case. We are seeking a prison sentence, end quote. Mm-hmm. Now, Michaela's mother said in a social media video that she is grateful for the public support, but cannot discuss details because she may be called to take the stand. Mm-hmm. She said, quote, I just wanted to say thank you, and I'm forever grateful for everyone who has helped out. So what happened after his court hearing on April 21st, 2026? I found something that told us a little bit of something. So a little something. The family spoke with Fox 11 following the court hearing and said her mother, Carolina, expressed deep frustration, calling Stephen's potential 3-year sentence ridiculous and not representative of justice. Based on the charges, the most that he can get is 3 years in prison and 20 years as a registered sex offender. I said, he's 40. So in 20 years, this is going to all go away for him. Mm-hmm. And, they really couldn't answer me, but they just kept saying based on the charges, that's the most that he can get. Then I said, why can't we do involuntary manslaughter? They said, based on evidence, this is all we can charge. My daughter then asked, why can't we do the rape charge? And they said, based on the evidence, this is all we can charge. So this is all they're saying to them. So I don't know what evidence they're talking about, but maybe Michaela said, the day it happened. But at the end of the day, he got her drunk. And even if, he said, let's go to this room or let's go upstairs or whatever was said, even if she did, she was intoxicated. She was taken advantage of physically and mentally. So if that's not rape, I really don't know what is, she said. It just feels like, he took advantage of his daughter and in his story.
I wonder if when they did the rape kit, if they did like a blood tox on her as well to see what was in her system.
Probably.
You know what I mean? I wonder if that's part of the evidence. I don't know.
And I don't know. Do you watch The Pit? Have you watched that? It's a show on HBO. It's freaking-tastic. One of the best shows I've ever watched. So it's an ER setting, and every episode represents 1 hour of that shift. And in one of the shifts, the nurse was performing a rape kit test. I don't know if it's anything like that. I have never had one of these tests done, but it was so interesting to see that perspective of it and how much care goes into that, how long and invasive that test can be to even just go through that and have it. But anyway, I don't know. I've never done one, but if it's anything like that, it's a brave thing for someone who was just assaulted to go through.
Yeah.
So this goes on to say, it just feels like, my daughter's life was only worth 3 years. And so then I asked, after the 3 years, what? I said, so, okay, he's registered as a sex offender, but then what? Can he go golfing? And they said, yeah. And I said, okay, can he go on trips? And they said, yeah. And I said, do you understand my daughter clocked out of work and then now has to go to a grave site to spend time with her sister? And, they really couldn't say anything. So it's just, sorry, I'm reading this in her words, so it's hard. So it doesn't feel like justice. What's 3 years? Can he do, if he doesn't get in trouble, can he get out early? And they said, yeah. So what, a year and a half, if that? And I asked if they took his passport away, and they said no. So I said, okay, so if he wanted to get on a plane and go out of the country, he can change his last name right now. And they said, well, yeah, people do that. Like, why haven't they taken his passport away? Why is he still out? I don't understand. And I feel like the charges need to be charged because 3 years is ridiculous. He changed my daughter forever. That day it happened, he called me from prison and I told him, I said, you killed my daughter. I don't know who I'm bringing back. The only justice that Michaela has gotten was literally because of what my niece did in those videos and then what the rest of the world has done. That's it. The rest of the world and my niece has given my daughter justice because at least now they know who he is. And I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Good luck. But, you hire him, he's in your house, you've got kids, because if he can do it to his own daughter, I cannot imagine what he can do to a complete stranger, she said.
Right.
She remembered her daughter as a sweet girl who made friends anywhere she went. Instantly, it didn't matter, she talked to everybody. She was kind. She was bubbly. She loved to pull pranks on us, loved to scare us. She was just the sweetest girl. She was still very, very innocent. Just because she was 18, didn't make her an adult. She still called me mommy. Like anytime she needed anything, mommy, can you do this? Like she was a kid. She was a child that, got taken advantage of, and she didn't deserve that. She deserved to be here and get to meet new people. I hope she saw how many people came for her, how many were just loving her. It's crazy how all these people came out, and the one person that was supposed to love and protect her did what he did. But yeah, she was an amazing girl. She was driven. She literally wanted to go from being an architect to having her own nail shop. She was just like a little entrepreneur. Now, Michaela's mother went on to thank all the supporters who showed up at the courthouse that day and shared their stories. She said, all the signs and the stories that people told us, it's just all the love that was shown, and we felt it. And as soon as we walked up, we got emotional, and it was a moment that I'm never going to forget. And I will hold each and every one of them just dearly with me throughout this whole thing. So many moms came up to me and hugged me. I mean, they're crying just as hard as I am. Like they are so, just invested in this, and they want to see the change. And then to hear that the most he can get is 3 years, I'm like, God, so this can happen again. And another little girl in her life because of something that happened. It's just not fair. I hate that this happened to my daughter, but at least let's make some changes so that this can stop. I lost count of the stories that I was told, she said. It's just the amount of women, girls, teenage girls that go through this and are either told to not say anything or they're scared of saying anything at all. It's just insane. I am forever thankful for all these people that came today, the ones that shared their stories that didn't have to, but they did, and it meant a lot. So what we don't know, it's unclear what the district attorney's office determined that evidence only supported an incest charge rather than rape or involuntary manslaughter. What you can do, a GoFundMe has been created to help support the family, which we already talked about. So what's next? Stephen is due back in court on May 19th. As we are recording this, it's the 7th, so we do not know the outcome of that yet, but it's for a preliminary hearing. And hopefully, maybe we'll have some updates on this. But I do want to add that if you or someone you know has been sexually assaulted, please contact the National Sexual Assault Hotline at 1-800-656-HOPE, which is 4673, or go to, I'll just spell it, RAINN.org. If you or someone you know have been a victim of sexual abuse, text STRENGTH to the crisis text line at 741-741 to be connected to a certified crisis counselor. And that's all I got for you on this episode. Any thoughts?
Just crazy, sick people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't even know.
I know. So if you guys hear what happens in the May, whatever, next week trial, yeah, let us know. I'll be looking for it too. So if you can't get enough of Operation Evil, consider supporting the podcast by joining Patreon or Operation Evil Plus on Buzzsprout. When you join, not only will you have access to exclusive bonus episodes, but you will also get a shout out. Operation Evil currently has over 50 exclusive bonus episodes ready for you to binge on. The links to join can always be found in the show notes. If you can't join our Patreon or Operation Evil Plus on Buzzsprout, consider supporting us for free by rating our show, telling a friend about the podcast, or like and share our Facebook page. I appreciate each and every one of you, and thank you, Heather, for continuing to do these stories with me.
Thank you.
I'll be back next time with a new episode. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thanks for listening.